There's currently 25 rappers rotting away inside a prison that you forgot about, with the most known being YNW Melly.
YNW Melly back in court today. His attorney saying the state has not given enough evidence to this point to keep him in jail, but prosecutors say they have proven plenty that shows he needs to remain behind bars.
Oh, please don't you cry, I'm sorry, I just hope sometime I'll be home soon.
Something very serious is going on with YNW Melly right now, from food that's not edible in jail, a freezing cold jail cell, and even no human contact. His spirits of beating the case is slowly fading away. It would be reported an interview from YNW Melly's mother paints a disturbing picture of YNW Melly's life inside a jail, making it sound like he's not gonna last much longer. As Jamie King would reveal that she is heartbroken for her son. She feels helpless because he's not even being treated as a human inside a jail.
When you saw Melly's statement just saying how he's been hurt, how he's scared for his life, as a mother, how did that make you feel?
It's heartbreaking. It made me feel completely helpless. Broward Sheriff's Office definitely needs to be investigated. I mean, they are making up their own rules. We've tried to go to court about this situation. The judge really doesn't have any jurisdiction when it comes to the jail, because we actually had a hearing about the mistreatment of him, and the jail they make their own rules. And I don't think that's fair, because I know that they need to answer to someone too.
As she would begin ranting over the fact that YNW Melly received a mistrial in the first trial. He essentially beat the case, but he was still denied any sort of chance at a bond release or even house arrest. A US study shows that there is an 82% likelihood of receiving a bond or house arrest agreement after getting a mistrial in a trial. Melly was rejected on the spot, as he's not even allowed to use a phone or even look at his own mail inside a jail.
My son has not been convicted of anything, and even other inmates that have been convicted or anything, they have the right to use a telephone. They have a right to be allowed to write letters to their loved ones, to receive their mail. They hold his mail, they don't give it to him.
As YNW Melly was moved into a new county jail for his upcoming retrial in September, the new lead prosecutor this week would end up submitting his evidence files against YNW Melly to the new judge. This is very bad, as he has to submit all the evidence he'll use against Melly, so then Melly's lawyers can create a defense against it for the upcoming trial. He's gonna make it real simple for the jury to understand that Melly committed the crime. He started out with simple evidence found on Melly's cell phone, where he even sent text messages hours after committing the crime, admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly count says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also found on YNW Melly's cell phone was a saved video from someone's Facebook Live. It ends up showing YNW Melly and Bortland in a parking lot only 6 hours after the crime was done, showing that they don't have an ounce of sadness for their two lost friends.
You see him? Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned. Regardless of what happened, you already know.
As YNW Melly's even wearing the exact same clothes that surveillance cameras caught him wearing earlier in the night. Now knowing how YNW Melly handled it emotionally, the lead prosecutor is then going to dive deep into what Melly's motive would have been to commit the crime. This is what's truly affecting Melly in jail, as the only reason Melly was given a mistrial was because the prosecutors didn't emphasize to the jury what YNW Melly's motive was to commit the crime against his two best friends. However, the new lead prosecutor just found the reason. YNW Melly was extremely close friends with King Von, leading to his arrest and sadly King Von passing. Melly ended up telling King Von and asking for advice on how to handle a situation where your two best friends are coming at you financially and they want a lot of money. As a rogue O-Block member shared a secret that Melly told Von.
Did Von really tell you that Melly told him that he killed his two friends? he ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vern was mad at me. Bro, why you put out there, bro? Walk the bam. I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around them?
As the team YNW isn't only a street team, but it's also a music collective. It's even registered as an LLC. What this means is any music that Melly and YNW Bortland made off of doing shows, any music streams, merch deals, anything like that would all be funneled into one bank account. As allegedly, Sack Chaser and Juvie, they weren't doing much. They didn't make music or any performing shows, but they still wanted a huge cut of all the money that's in the LLC. But Melly was not having it. This was the missing piece of evidence the prosecutors were missing during the original trial, which is what was the motive. As this would then lead into the reason Melly was never given house arrest or a bond agreement, as the investigation through the physical evidence of the crime paints a very disturbing photo. As Sergeant Williams would end up revealing after a thorough investigation of the Jeep they were driving in, there is no way this could have been a drive-by, and whoever committed the crime had to have been sitting in the back left seat.
Assignment, which is to determine if this was a drive. And my determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here, which is a very good picture to describe it. All of these rounds are done. One is done at a stationary position. At a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that to create the little bit of a that you see there.
Okay, a lot of information in that answer, so let's break it down a little bit. You mentioned so I'm gonna zoom in on site F. Number, you said 17 outside the car. How many rounds were inside of the car?
3.
And can you exclude the for Mr. Williams and Mr. Thomas as coming from outside of the car?
Yes. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that emanate from?
Driver's side back seat.
Okay. Is it possible for there to have been 2 inside that car?
No.
Why not?
There is no time.
As with Williams revealing the crime must have happened inside of the car, YNW Juvie's mother would go to the stand and share who was sitting in that back left seat, as she has known YNW Melly since he was born.
And are you related to one of the kids in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Mm-hmm.
And is that a yes?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Jamel.
And Jamel, is that the defendant, Jamel Demons?
Yes, ma'am.
As while the prosecutor was working on building the case to prove Melly's guilt, Melly's lawyer, on the other hand, was working on getting him released on a bond, as the YNW Melly trial has now been rescheduled until September 2025. We would see his mother, Jamie King, give an update outside of the courthouse.
Free Melly till he's free. He's coming home, guys. Just patience. So we did have court today, him and Bort. They both had court. And so basically, the judge put a new trial date in for September 10th of 2025. Please make it make sense. I don't know. At this point, they need to just dismiss the case. So, and yeah, he still doesn't have phone calls, still no visitation. He's still in the new facility all alone by himself, no contact. He's not allowed to have contact with any other inmates. They move him around with several guards. It's like something you never...
As with the trial being so far away, lawyers online commented believing that Melly's lawyers will be pushing for a bond or house arrest from the new judge. As it would be announced, Judge Murphy has effectively retired on August 1st. Judge Martin will now oversee the Melly retrial. As with now new lawyers, prosecutors, and a new judge in the case, it is all delayed until next September. Melly was even seen entering the courtroom when his judge would ask for his release.
This is on State of Florida versus Jamel Demmons. Present is Mr. Demmons. Mr. Demmons, can you hear us?
As it would then be reported shortly after, new judge hears YNW Melly's lawyers out on a bond release. With many moving pieces for the retrial, another delay is likely. Expect the rapper released soon. The prosecutors would want to put an end to this as soon as possible, as this is where the courtroom got scary. The new lead prosecutor would go on to mention to the newest judge in the case, the Florida Police Department arrested Melly in Portland on February 13th, 2019 for this crime against Sack Chaser and Juvie. Portland was only in jail for roughly 3 days before being bonded out. Meanwhile, Melly has sat in his jail cell for the last 5 to 6 years with no chance of any release. He was even granted a mistrial in the case on July 2023, but he still had to sit inside a jail, where he would then tell the judge there's a reason for this, and it all dates back to the day of the crime, where YNW Portland would be interrogated by an arresting officer, where even the arresting officer knew what happened right away.
And I'm driving, ducking for my life, trying to make sure I don't get hit. And you telling me, you telling me about shit. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. I'm driving. I'm trying to make sure I don't get hit. You know what I'm saying? What I'm gonna be worried about? You know what I'm saying?
I know it's not for you to worry about.
Shit crazy, bro.
But if you tell me it happened there's got to be some evidence there. There's going to be broken glass, just like there's broken glass over here from when you guys opened the doors and stuff like that. Okay, there's going to be broken glass over there when the windows got out. There's going to be casings from the people at your car. Okay, there's going to be evidence over there. Okay, right now there's nothing. I kind of think I know what happened because I got information.
As ever since the interrogation, Melly's been the main suspect, as even the officer said that he believes he knows what happened, but he's just not legally allowed to say right now, as it was always this interrogation that always comes up against YNW Melly. We even caught a glimpse of how scared Melly's mother is for him when during the original Melly trial, when he was granted the mistrial, his lawyers requested Melly to receive a bond out of jail or even house arrest moments later. But again, the prosecutors brought up the interrogation, leading into the judge denying it instantly, telling Melly that he must return to jail. This even led into Melly asking his mother if she's okay, as she would break down into tears.
Sorry.
We'll just don't do it.
This was an extremely sad moment of the YNW Melly trial. Rap OG Boosie would even speak on the stress that his mother's been going through.
Okay, so
then I met his mama while he was in.
Oh, okay.
I met his mom while he was in, and she real, bro. You know, she real.
She's stressed out. I heard she had a.
Yeah, she real, and I reached my hand out to him, cause I'm real. Yeah, I reached out to him, bro. I met his mom, and she a good woman, bro. And when I see them mamas like that, it remind me of what my mom was going through, bro.
As for the final nail in YNW Melly's life, he was just hit with new charges alongside YNW Bortland, basically ensuring that he will never be in the free world again unless he wins this upcoming retrial.
The state filing 6 new charges against Demons and 2 others who were allegedly involved. The charges include tampering with a witness, directing the activities of a criminal, solicitation or conspiracy to commit tampering, and unlawful use of a two-way communication device. Now, a couple of those charges actually carry a life in prison sentence if there's a conviction. YNW Melly, his real name is Jamel Demons. He's actually in plain clothes in the courtroom for the first time in months, again, as this judge really starts the long process of seating a new juror.
As this ends up stemming from one of the interviews from YNW Juvie's father, where he would end up exposing how YNW Melly and Bortland were witness tampering, and even what code words they used to make Melly's ex-girlfriend not testify against him in the original trial. Because there was theories that when the crime was committed, YNW Melly called his girlfriend to come pick him up, but sadly she couldn't. However, on the phone call, Melly may have confessed something.
Both Melly, Jamel Demons, YNW Melly, and Cortland Henry, who is known as YNW Bortland, are now charged with witness tampering. It sounds like the prosecutors are saying there was this kind of crazy way that Melly was communicating. He wasn't allowed to use the phone, but he was passing notes to people, and then this person's calling this person, and then that person.
Saying like to me, they going through extreme measures to try to cover up or convince people not to testify, like Mariah mom. They was using code words like Rihanna and A$AP Rocky's baby mom. And
as then on top of this, we also had YNW Bortland arrested recently for witness tampering. While he was outside, his house was raided by the feds, and he had some of the craziest paperwork written in a suitcase that the feds ended up finding after raiding his home.
Melly's co-defendant YNW Bortland was booked into a Miami jail Monday night and is being held behind bars on an out-of-county warrant. We just confirmed the warrant is out of Broward County for witness tampering. The warrant obtained by Law and Crime Network states as follows. On or about April 10, 2023, continuing through and including July 22, 2023, Cortland Henry, aka Bortland, along with others, did unlawfully and knowingly engage in misleading conduct toward another person with the intent to cause or induce them to withhold testimony. The warrant continues the alleged witness had been summoned by the legal process to the jury trial of Jamel Demons, aka YNW Melly. The dates in the warrant are important. Jury selection for Melly started in mid-April, and a judge declared a mistrial on July 22nd, the same day the warrant claims Bortland allegedly tampered with a witness.
As it would then be announced, here are the images of alleged notes discovered during the home raid of YNW Bortland's home last week, as filed into the Broward clerks by the state. Alongside these photos here, of Bortland drawing out on a piece of paper where certain jurors were sitting in the original Melly trial, and even a description of what they looked like. As Bortland showed up to the Melly trial for one day, he ended up taking a mental note of where all the jurors were sitting and even what they looked like, which you are not allowed to do. He then drew it out on a piece of paper, which is extremely serious. The feds are making the case that if Melly was sentenced to life in prison, who's to say that Bortland wouldn't have gave that piece of paper to somebody very scary and had a lot of these jurors dealt with as revenge for putting away YNW Melly for life. Even DJ Academics would say,
to keep it real, this is sloppy. Bortland, how the f you gonna have the notebook of the jurors in your house? Like, god damn. Holy sh. You know what I mean? Like, brother, like, come the f on. It's like doing a and having the surveillance tape in your DVD player or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Like they raid your crib and the surveillance footage of the is in your DVD player. They be like, oh, okay, thank you, brother. This can't be at your crib.
With the next rapper being NBA Youngboy, who's been sitting inside of prison for several months waiting for his trial. The trial finally finished, and it led him to being sentenced to prison.
You got cap in your raps. Why be a straight when I catch him is that?
You ain't even take no flower to this man. But I guarantee you ain't take not one flower to this man. I ain't even got nothing to do with the situation, man. Stop playing with me, son. I don't want no problem with you. Stay the out my way or get it done, man. Stop the like I said, man.
You gonna talk to us? Tell us
as soon as we're done with everything, we'll I mean,
We'll take off the handcuffs, okay? But
yeah, I don't have a statement. I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this. I'm properly if I haven't committed a crime or done that.
After NBA Youngboy was sentenced to prison, the prosecutor shared new footage of Youngboy getting arrested inside a court. As it would be announced, NBA Youngboy has accepted a plea deal in the federal firearm case that was transferred from Louisiana to Utah. As a part of the deal, he'll be sentenced to 27 months in prison with credit for time served in pretrial detention, then followed by 5 years of federal probation. However, the judge had a change of heart right before sentencing him to prison. His sentencing, though, was a complete nightmare, where it started with a crazy NBA Youngboy fan hacking into the court hearing sound system, who then started yelling, "Free Youngboy."
Free YB, man. Free YB.
Everyone needs to stay muted. Okay.
Free YB.
All right. Mr. Golden's case has already been called. He's done with court today, for those of you interested. Everyone keep yourselves muted.
Free YB.
Free YB.
Free YB.
NBA Youngboy was able to hear this entire thing happening right outside of the courtroom. He would then enter in, smiling and laughing, reacting to the hacker who was just screaming his support for himself. As NBA Youngboy's sentencing would then begin, as it started with the judge reading out the charge description that was written out by the prosecutor. They would end up writing on March 10th, 2021, NBA Youngboy was arrested and charged with 1 count of possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, as well as 1 count of possession of a firearm that's not registered on the National Firearms Registration List, where they noted you can make a scrapbook out of all of NBA Youngboy's mugshots for the last 6 years. He's been arrested a total of 16 times, where this arrest began while they were outside recording a music video on the street in a neighborhood, where he had several friends playing loud music, dancing on the hood of a car for the music video, to which an old lady who lived on the street ended up calling the police as she was worried. Describing to the police on the phone there is several men dancing around on a hood of a car, holding firearms up in the air. This had the police arriving very quickly. They already recognized NBA Youngboy, so they would arrest him instantly.
So yesterday at court, the body cam footage of the officer who put the cuffs on Youngboy back in September during that music video, that was shown, and it was very interesting because the cop comes right up to him, you know, whatever, he puts the cuffs on him, and then Youngboy's reaction is kind of hilarious. I thought it might be interesting for y'all. He was like, yo, big dog, man, what you doing, man? Why you putting these cuffs on me? That's what he was calling the cop. He was calling the cop big dog. He's like, big dog, you up right now. I didn't do nothing. You can search me. I got nothing on me. Cop doesn't listen. Cop puts him in the, and the whole time Youngboy's like, yo, man, what you doing, man? Big dog, why? And it really goes to show you a lot about this case. Youngboy didn't think he did anything wrong. He didn't think that they were going to go and start taking footage from music videos and said, you held a gun in a music video and you're a felon and that's a federal felony and you're going to face 3 to 5 years. No, and it really shows you that these federal laws as applied to kids like NBA Youngboy from the hood are extremely unfair and extremely punitive, and we need to take a good long look on what's going on there.
But also in the process of his arrest, the cameraman knew that Youngboy was not allowed to be holding a firearm. He would be seen quickly trying to delete the footage off of his camera, but the police still confiscated the camera anyway, and they did it without legal permission in doing so, as they were able to retrieve the footage of NBA Youngboy holding up the firearm. Youngboy's lawyer made the argument in court that the police got the footage illegally, but it sadly didn't hold up at all. It would be announced NBA Youngboy has lost his appeal with the feds, and now the prosecutors can use the footage of him holding firearms to convict him.
Update on NBA Youngboy. He lost the appeal with the federal appeals court. He can take it up to the Supreme Court. What happened? So the federal judge, the lower court, ruled in his favor. She said that the video of him holding what looks like to be a is suppressed. Can't be used at trial against him. The way you guys obtained it, you violated his constitutional rights. Now, the government went to the 5th Circuit United States Court of Appeals. The 5th Circuit said, you know what? We have a different decision, and we're going to say that the government can use that evidence. It is going to be allowed in the case. Now, Youngboy's got a couple of options. 1, he can appeal to the Supreme Court. I fully expect they will appeal to the Supreme Court. 2, you got to go to the government and say, look, this guy was locked up for a long amount of time. I think he was locked up for almost a year. He's been on house arrest for almost a year. How much time do you want him to serve, and think about doing a plea bargain? Ultimately, you can also take this case to trial and try to beat the feds and go 2-0 against them. He's previously beaten a federal.
With the judge confirming to the courtroom that NBA Youngboy really had no defense at all, it would be this time where everyone in the courtroom would begin to cry in the family section. The judge would then deliver an emotional speech to NBA Youngboy. As a report would read, the judge gave NBA Youngboy a positive message about him being robbed of his talent and potential due to his addiction and wished him the best of luck after he's out of prison in the future.
Mr. Golden, I've seen so many times that good men and women who have a lot of talent and potential, that they can be robbed of that potential when they start to really struggle with their addiction. So I don't want that for you. You seem like a very talented young man. I'm hoping in your future that once you're done with your federal prison time, that you can be really successful on federal probation and have a really bright future where you can reach your full potential in every aspect of your life. Best of luck to you, Mr. Golden.
Thank you.
Anything
Thank you, Your
further?
Honor. That's all I have, if I
Okay.
could be excused.
You may.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you all.
With the official report being released of NBA Youngboy's case is closed. Youngboy will now serve 27 months in jail and 60 months of probation. But it gets scarier from here. This is not the only crime that he's actually facing, as the prosecutors would then double down on telling the judge he needs to stay in jail and prison for a very long time. They even have the arrest footage to prove it, as this arrest started when Youngboy skipped a court appearance, making him a wanted man. The FBI was staking out his Louisiana mansion until suddenly NBA Youngboy was seen opening the gate of his home and driving out. The FBI followed Youngboy getting onto the highway. This started a high-speed chase all across the highway, to which it finally looked like it was almost over when the FBI agent told Youngboy to pull his car over. Youngboy did pull his car over to the side of the highway, but he was waiting for the FBI agent to exit his vehicle, to which he then slammed onto his gas, going 120 miles an hour down the highway. He then ran into traffic, making him drift off into the regular street. But while on the run with the FBI agent, NBA Youngboy was wearing designer shoes, skinny jeans, a jacket, and several diamond chains. Likely not the best outfit to wear from running from an FBI agent, but it's all he had, where Youngboy would end up leading into more traffic in the regular street, exiting his vehicle, hopping a fence, and beginning to sprint into a random backyard. This backyard just so happened to be a fan of NBA Youngboy, who would take his phone out and take photos of Youngboy sprinting away, where you can clearly see the FBI agent behind him. NBA Youngboy would then be swarmed by police and quickly arrested, and then taken into the back of a police car.
You know, talk to us, tell us what happened, or
As soon as we're done with everything,
we'll take off the handcuffs, okay? But
yeah, I don't have a statement. I don't want to be detained in these handcuffs like this. I'm properly if I haven't committed a crime or done that.
Okay. All right, give us a second, okay?
Okay, no voluntary statement.
Hey, he's not willing to give a
So,
statement.
you know, any statement, any voluntary statement?
No, sir. Mr.
No,
Martinez, I don't want to give a statement. I don't want to be in this.
These were serious charges against Youngboy, from speed racing, resisting arrest, and many more. The next judge is not going to take it easy on him, as Youngboy already had to put up $500,000 in cash in 2 properties just to try to get a bond.
For Youngboy out of California is a $540,000 bond. He put up $500,000 in cash. In addition, he put up as collateral 2 properties worth in excess of $1.5 million, and he has to wear an ankle monitor. However, he's not going to be on house arrest. According to the bond set by the California judge, he simply has to wear the ankle monitor, but is otherwise free to travel. This is very big. Why? Given that the California judge found that these circumstances are sufficient for a Youngboy, why would a Louisiana judge find any differently? The Louisiana judge is looking at the same facts, he's looking at the same charges, and he's making a decision under the exact same federal law. Sure, it's a different court and a different circuit, and the way the laws are applied varies somewhat from state to state, from circuit. It shouldn't vary a lot. If this California judge said, hey, this much money and these restrictions are good, it would be very, very weird for a Louisiana judge to say, oh no amount of money and no restrictions. That would be very uncommon. I fully expect that the Louisiana judge on Tuesday will release Youngboy on.
And while it seems like things could not be worse, it does. When prosecutors are going against famous rappers in a court case, it's their job to make the rapper look as bad as possible. And sadly, Youngboy wasn't doing himself any favors. They would end up revealing in court in 2019 a beef that he had with NLE Choppa, where NLE Choppa felt the need to create a song for him titled Free Youngboy when he was arrested in 2019. However, now Choppa has completely changed his thoughts on Youngboy because of King Von's passing, where Youngboy ended up dropping the hit song Bring the Hook in 2022, dissing all of O Block and King Von. The entire rap scene reacted to it, causing DJ Academics to tweet, NBA Youngboy's on Demon Time and he's dropping another tape. O Block rapper Lil Reese would respond, that ain't no demon time, he's just rapping like the rest of these all rappers rap. And NLE Choppa would have to agree with Lil Reese by saying I stamped that as his response to the entire deal. But this just let the rap game know what side NLE Choppa was on, as NBA Youngboy wasn't happy. He would end up speaking on it in his new song, Know Like I Know, by rapping the lyrics, I bet your mama be destroyed when we send you to God for making statements, choosing sides about my beef with them boys, I guess you could say I was your favorite. After this sneak diss towards NLE Choppa, NLE then changed the title of his song from Free Youngboy to just Youngboy, where he would then later describe everything that he was feeling on a podcast.
He's not able to defend his name, bro, and it be a lot going on within his name about him when, to me, bro, he a real stand-up dude, and it was just unfortunate how it happened. Like, he came to a person as a man.
Where NLE Choppa would then follow it up with another interview on DJ Vlad.
When you heard that, what'd you think?
It was funny to me. I feel like, it's not serious when it hit the net. It's funny. I mean, it's just entertainment to me.
Yeah.
It was entertaining. Good song. Nice bars.
But this is what started an entire rap war from NBA Youngboy versus everyone else. After investigating the court files for several hours, I found something very concerning. As when Jada Youngin passed away, many looked at NBA Youngboy and his crew as being responsible, and so did the feds. Being another rapper from Louisiana, he always had a lot to say about Youngboy. We even saw him speak about it in an interview with DJ Vlad.
Me and Youngboy, soon we will be making music together. I'm a fan of Youngboy music. Yeah, we gonna collaborate pretty soon and put on for our state, because when we do, I feel like this is gonna be one of the hardest collaborations ever.
Not long after, the two dropped their collab song titled Up With Me, but sadly the two had a falling out after Jada Youngin shared a snippet of an unreleased NBA Youngboy song on Instagram, where Youngboy responded in the comments, delete this now, I don't even know how you got my song, and I don't mess around like that, where Jay would speak on the situations just weeks later, showing that he's not gonna take disrespect from anyone.
I'm a real and I stand on everything, you hear me? Ain't no gonna play with me, ain't gonna disrespect me.
In return, NBA Youngboy allegedly tried to catch Jada Youngin lacking in the street, where then he would record this video.
You be hiding. We real headhunters, man. Come on, man. Open their mouth, came to what they was, man. Oh.
Next being OTF rapper Lil Durk, who was just arrested recently for the passing of Lil Pab. However, after reports of Lil Durk's jail situation going viral online, we would hear a speech from a YSL snitch named Lil Woody. He snitched on Young Thug in the YSL trial. Understanding the wrongs that he has done within his life, he would end up giving advice to Lil Durk on how to handle everything that he is going through.
I want to hear my opinion on the Lil Durk situation. I ain't saying he guilty. I don't know what the situation is, but if life is going good for you and you come from poverty, we risk so much of our freedom, time, and life trying to get where we at, to put ourselves in a position where we can take care of our family and our responsibility. The best revenge was for King Von. I'm not saying Durk guilty or anything, but the best revenge that you could have got from King Von was stepping up and taking care of his kids. We ignorant, we do stupid stuff. Why is we out here trying to continue to hurt each other? It's not gonna bring it back. What's done is done. It's permanent. Go get his kids, take his kids, and put his kids in a position where they never had to walk in their daddy's footsteps. It hurt me to see that Durk came so far in life just to end up in his predicament. Y'all rap about these things in y'all songs, showing that y'all know better and still choose to be foolish. But God knows we gotta come together, because at the end of the day, we our own enemy.
Giving out a heartfelt message, as allegedly Lil Durk's jail situation is not ideal. Lil Durk is currently being held in the Federal Detention Center of Miami. It would be announced, Lil Durk is reportedly described as super charming by prison staff and other inmates. The only thing that he doesn't like in jail right now is the food, which thankfully Lil Durk was changed jails from the detention center in Fulton County to the new one in Miami. He was moved for one specific reason, and it could be connected to a release release on bond, as Lil Durk's lawyer made a push to question the feds on his first court hearing, asking them, what evidence do you even have against Dirk Banks, aka Lil Durk? Which it was then announced by Kodak Black's attorney, Bradford Cohen, says Lil Durk has a chance to beat the King Von and Quando Rondo revenge case unless OTF testifies against him. He says, I'm hesitant to say they have a slam dunk case on Dirk Banks. I think they have a long way to go to prove the conspiracy that is currently against him.
When it comes to Dirk Banks, you know, so far I've seen one text that says don't have them associate my name with any kind of flights that they're taking. Certainly that's not a good text, but is that the only text? Because that doesn't, you know, that in itself doesn't stand on its own. Certainly it's circumstantial. But like I said, we have to wait and see what other evidence they have. If they have a snitch, if they have videotapes or audio tapes of him saying something, I think that's a lot different than, hey, just make sure you don't associate my name with these guys. Because he could be blaming, you know, Grant or one of these other guys and saying like, hey, these guys are going to do some crazy stuff. And he's like, hey, listen, make sure it doesn't associate with me at all. You can look at that a million different ways. So I'm hesitant to say that they have, you know, a slam dunk case on Dirk Banks.
As it stands right now, the evidence against Lil Durk is pretty small. However, we don't fully know all of the info that OTF Jam gave on Lil Durk, but the famous rap lawyer would then reveal what Lil Durk's release date could be, depending on if somebody snitches or not.
So it all depends on the hunger of the U.S. attorney and the AUSA that's involved. And if they want this individual badly enough, they'll make very attractive deals for these individuals. What does a very attractive deal look like? I think they go for the lowest hanging fruit. Whoever, you know, didn't actually kill the guy, you know, maybe someone that was involved that didn't actually, or someone that, but it didn't hit, you know, they're going to have forensics. Yeah. So they'll take whoever is the least culpable, and I think that they'll approach him and make a deal with him that'll be the most attractive. And if that guy doesn't make a deal, they'll move on to the next guy. So usually that's what happens, right? You go for the lowest hanging fruit first, the guy that you think will flip, the guy that didn't really have that much involvement. And I think what also is interesting with the indictment is it wasn't just money. They're like, oh, it could have been money or it could have been career advancement.
This is incredible news for Lil Durk. However, there's one specific person that is going to turn Lil Durk's life from already miserable to the absolute worst. This would be none other than Brick Baby. Brick Baby pieced it all together before Durk was even arrested. He appeared on an interview months ago saying that you can't say Durk never slid for Vaughn because how they got Lil Pab. It just so happened that Brick Baby was live streaming when Durk got originally arrested, and he reacted to his old interview live.
This is just it. Five Chicago gang members with ties to Lil Durk, OTF, accused of being hired to unalive Quando Rondo in the LA incidents where Lil Pab was unalive. Suspects face the penalty if convicted. He said indictment alleged that flights and rental cars were paid with credit cards linked to OTF.
But was this an attempted hit or
Why would they
can't
say that no more?
Then they put you as
Why? Oh yeah, because of
your face.
Wait, no, like he died.
You can't say that no more.
Oh, because of FBG Cash? Oh, who?
Federal charges in California.
Nah, because Lil Pab.
So this is about the.
Oh. What's that?
But I'm just saying, they just say you can't say that no more.
It got extremely awkward in that room. It seemed as if Brick Baby was snitching on stream to the feds. However, it gets worse. When it was announced literally today, Brick Baby says that he would have dropped the location for Quando Rondo if Lil Durk asked, because he is loyal to him.
Why is that? Then it's people like, you lined up somebody from your hood. Like, listen, I didn't. But at the end of the day, what's wrong with giving my friend the address? Oh, look, this is my boy. He lost his boy. Who did it could be around. 9 times out of 10, had he had asked me, I probably would have been Coke if he even asked anybody, if this is even true. But 9 times out of 10, like I said, can I leak a bar?
Sure.
I said if he make the call right now, I'd something.
Right.
This one specific man is going to turn Dirk from sitting comfortably-ish in the federal detention center in Miami to one of the worst holding jails with a maximum security level until his trial starts. However, the situation gets even worse for Dirk from here after further investigation, as it seems OTF members and Lil Durk fans found multiple Instagram lives where they saw OTF Jam wearing the wire. These are several years apart, meaning that he's been working with the feds for multiple years, as OTF Jam is seen holding the top of his jacket and whispering in it, looking to see if anything is connected.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, my whole dream changed. I ain't gonna lie, like back in the day. Oh, my. Oh, dang. Like back in the day. Oh, look, he took out.
Check on your man, I heard you got his head.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Hey, when I was growing up, I
What happened to
dare?
architect?
What happened to who? What happened to dare? School trying to stop down.
All that woofing on the net, it got your man
Metro!
fit. Uh-huh.
Metro! In the late.
This made Lil Durk extremely upset just 1 month before his arrest. He would go on to do an interview hinting towards he already knew what Jam was doing, but he was sadly already too late. It would be announced Lil Durk has been playing 3D chess the entire time. He knew that OTF Jam was going to cooperate.
I see shit from a mile away.
I don't think people realize that.
I could have a conversation with you for 5 seconds and know your is gonna cooperate.
However, Lil Durk continued talking about how he would keep things a secret. He would even end up revealing his closest and best friends didn't even know where he's living, and he never told anyone what he's up to, as it looked like Lil Durk knew that this entire situation was about to come from the interview.
Nobody is ever allowed to my house. It be my best friend never been in my house.
For real?
I promise.
Your best friend?
Promise. Like, it's people like that I just don't allow around my girl and my kids, cause it's like I'm just a different type. I'm not the. We can have family night at Dirk house tonight. It's the.
You say everybody at Dirk's crib.
Yeah, we gotta everybody getting watched. We gotta watch everybody. Hey, you go too. Hey, they go too close to them kids. You know what to do. Like, that's how I play. Like, I don't play.
But unfortunately, Lil Durk found out about OTF Jam being an informant when it was too late, because we only just found out that they've been looking into Lil Durk for over a year, as DJ Academics would share this.
It's from a group of journalists. Actually, I'll give up the source of it. Well, not really the person, but an Atlanta-based journalist said, "Hey, this is going to happen soon." And I said, "What?" And you know, I get my sources and I get news told to me. They said, "I've been told that the feds have been looking into Lil Durk." But I remember, this is before the O Block 6 thing happened. Or actually, maybe it was, I can't remember the timing. But I remember thinking, after the O Block 6 or 5 like got convicted, I'm like, all right, Durk's finally in the clear. That's what I thought. But the person who was telling me, they say they had good authority that was coming from investigative bodies that was involved in looking into this.
As Academics could have told Lil Durk that the feds were looking into him, but sadly he didn't. Once the feds had gathered enough information to arrest the suspects involved in the Lil Pab hit, they were able to connect Lil Durk to being the one that ordered it. The arrests happened way too fast. As news broke out of Lil Durk's arrest and his mugshot was released, we would then hear that it was OTF member Jam that was responsible for giving the feds all the evidence they needed to take him in. Jam was a very trusted member throughout the years of OTF. He even served a 12-year prison bid, so you would believe he would be the last guy to ever cooperate with the feds. Except, there was one crucial thing the rest of the OTF members never found out about, was that OTF Jam was caught by law enforcement again only 2 months after being released from jail in 2022. He was ended up being found with an illegal firearm as a convicted felon. He would have been serving another 20-year prison bid, but Jam knew that he couldn't go back, so he would sign the deal and he would begin informing on Lil Durk. But Lil Durk wasn't just his boss or affiliate in OTF. He was the one guy that looked out for Jam when he got out. He made sure that he had security inside of prison. He was even gifted his own crib and $50,000 in cash.
Yeah, because you just came home not too long ago. Like, when you come home?
I've been home a little bit over a year.
Yeah, okay.
A little bit over a year.
Yeah.
12 years flat.
12 years?
Like 12 years. Did my time. Ain't told him nobody.
Right.
Ain't no on my name.
Like, how did you even get linked in with just OTF period?
Man, get LinkedIn. Sorry, dude, LinkedIn. This ain't no people I met. Nah, I knew them. Like I'm saying, this was before jail. I know.
Yeah, because he's super solid, bro. He's like, you know what I'm saying? He said, Jam get out that jam and give him 50. He ain't gotta ask again, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? He ain't gotta ask. He said he gave you 50, bro. You know what I'm saying?
As this even resulted in Lil Baby reacting on the situation, this can't be true. Free the boy Durk, the streets are evil, it'll be your own brother that'll turn your back on you. However, Charleston White was weirdly very happy about him snitching on Durk. He would even go as far as to say this is a victory for the rap community.
I don't think drill rappers would ever be celebrated ever again. Down goes the drill. Down goes the drill. 12th round knockout, because it looked like they had got away and they get to ride off into the sunset. So this is
As with the help of OTF Jam, they got enough incriminating evidence to begin lawfully spying on Lil Durk. They began wiretapping all of his communications and his associates' communications, making sure that he had him for good. Throughout their investigation, they found iCloud records that connects Lil Durk and OTF credit cards directly to the purchase of the flight tickets that were used to take out Lil Pab. As a report would share, federal investigators obtained iCloud records of Lil Durk advising an associate in his hit plot, saying, and I quote, "Don't book no flights under no names involved with me." Regardless of the warning, the associate just booked the flights anyway, using a credit card linked directly to Lil Durk. As if that wasn't enough evidence, the feds would then do a deep dive investigation on the internet, trying to connect Lil Durk and King Von to the men that did the crime, as it allegedly took 2 minutes to find the following evidence. They found an old video of King Von shopping with 3 of the 5 suspects, known as DD, Vonnie, and Boogie. A simple search online from good trusted sources ended up revealing these 3 often acted as street security for Lil Durk, Von, and Duty Low, meaning that they're not registered security guards, but they have a firearm on them and they'll protect Durk, Von, and Duty.
Solitary stone.
We just looked at him.
Let's go over there.
What up, bro?
Boss, you good? My boy. Let's go.
They got real in here, man, because he just stepped in. The money man just stepped in.
With the 3 suspects being friends with Von and Durk in the past, they'd have the same motivation as Lil Durk to go and get revenge for Von. Through their connection to King Von, they must have got contact for the hit, as we even saw rap interviewer DJ Vlad speak further on the situation. In multiple interviews, I've said that nobody would ever get on a plane to just go get someone. I said this because there would be so much evidence that they are guaranteeing going to prison. Today, I was proven wrong. Lil Durk was dumb enough to send 5 guys on a plane to go get Quando Rondo, and they even ended up getting the wrong guy. Now all 6 of them are facing life in prison and even the penalty. This would end up leaving Charleston White reacting once again. Charleston would end up sharing that when he was arrested in the past, everybody just laughed at him, but when Lil Durk got arrested, everybody showed love. Charleston says it's because he's their favorite rapper, and that everyone wants him to remain safe while inside of jail.
Ain't nobody laughing at Durk like they were laughing at me when I went to jail. Lord have mercy. So ain't nobody laughing at Durk. Now it ain't funny. Now your favorite rapper go to jail and look like he got a no bond like me. That boy got a federal no bond. I bet that told and closed up. He got a burp to pass gas. I bet he going to PC. Them California niggas try to extort it. One thing we know about California, the and Bloods rule. GD, BD, on 4 them, they ain't got no say-so nowhere. But when they write a letter to somebody.
A rapper soon to be facing prison time after new evidence was released is Young and Ace, as shared by DJ Academics.
Wack 100 recently spoke about you and he says, "You're next."
Why would you say that, bro? Why would you wish that for me?
I don't know if he was wishing that. I think he's just thinking about, like, you know, in terms of people want to get the target, like the high profile target, and if Fulio is out the way, now they're like, well, the only way to make another thing is you.
I'm trying to come for him. I'm trying to hold RJ. I'm trying to hold him. I'm trying to RJ open the door.
A recent DJ Academics podcast would have him predicting that Young and Ace's life is now in jeopardy, as it all stems from what the police just said about Young and Ace, as DJ Academics just told him to his face that he is next after Julio Fulio sadly passed away.
Whack 100 recently spoke about you, and he says, you're next.
Why would you say that, bro? Why would you wish that for me?
Well, I don't know if he was wishing that. I think he's just thinking about, like, in terms of, people want to get the target, like the high profile target, and if Fulio is out the way, now they're like, well, the only way to make another thing is you.
Why wish that on me, bro? Man, bro, I've been living my whole life. I'm letting you get up on. I'm not letting nobody get up on me. So I don't.
With his passing now, right? Does it mean that this whole situation is over?
There's never no situation.
As Academics would then further discuss Young and Ace's life on an incident that occurred to him just a few years ago, when he was ambushed by several men while leaving a restaurant with family members, where sadly his brother would pass in the incident.
I'm trying to come for him. I'm trying to hold RJ. I'm trying to hold him. I'm trying to RJ open the door. I open the door, I'm pushing him out. I'm like, bro, I got you, bro, I got you. He grabbed my shirt. I'm like, bro, I can't move. He tell me he can't move. I jump out the car. Cope open the door. Cope said, call anyone. It's Cope.
Young and Ace has been tried so many times by his ops. However, he is now being targeted by the police. It would be reported Jacksonville Sheriff TK Waters sends a PSA to Young and Ace and his crew, ATK, after Julio Fulio's hitters were finally caught and arrested.
So Young and Ace has long been known in Jacksonville. We are consistently monitoring those groups. We have people that are always watching them. I won't speak to the chief's investigation. That's up to TPD. We don't have an investigation on him right now, but he can't move around in Jacksonville without us knowing about it. And that's for the betterment of our community.
As shortly after, it would then be announced, breaking, ATK rapper Young and Ace questioned by police over the recent Julio Fulio incident. Police take the rapper in for questioning over his recent songs Do It and Game Over, as there is currently 5 people arrested for the passing of Julio Fulio, from Alicia, Isaiah, Sean, Rashad, and Davion. However, the police believe that Young and Ace was the main kingpin in all this, and he's the one that supplied the firearms, as well as putting up money for anyone to deal with Julio Fulio, which is why they've been canceling all of Young and Ace's recent concerts, trying to limit his business as well as his income, not letting him profit off of the recent situation of Julio Fulio.
Jacksonville police and I don't know how they be doing it, but they always call around and cancel my shows. What's up with y'all? What's going on? Why y'all want to cancel my show? I don't even live there in Jacksonville. Why y'all want to cancel my? Why y'all trying to my money? Yeah, man, y'all trying to my life. Cause y'all worry about what I got going on. I ain't with y'all. Y'all canceled all my shows, but I just had a show in Tampa. Y'all got my show canceled in Tampa. I had a show in Virginia. I called, got my show canceled up. I had a show in Gainesville. Y'all canceled my show in Gainesville before. Daytona. You feel me? Like, what's really going on?
They believe this for one specific reason, and it was all due to a video that was leaked online. It would be reported Jacksonville rapper admits to targeting Julio Fulio, all because Young and Ace put $10K on him.
Hey, on everything I love, bro. On the homies, bro, I put it on everything, on my soul, on my kids. I'm the one that smacked Julio Fulio that night when he got at his birthday celebration, bro. You feel me? I ain't gonna show my face and give my identity away or nothing like that, but you know, I did that, you feel me? There was money on his head, you feel me? I rock with Ace and them boys, you feel me? ATK, you feel me? I be in Jacksonville heavy, you feel me? If you know, you know. But yeah, you feel me? I did that. You feel me? I handled that because, you know, Ace had that money on his head. You know, Ace had him put that 10K up. Told me to slide. Told me to because, you know, he got tired of that nigga running his mouth playing all the time. You feel me? So what had to be done had to be done. You feel what I'm saying? So I just handled it. You feel me? It was what it is, bro.
As the police were able to find more evidence relating to Young and Ace being the lead man into having Foolio dealt with, and I was able to pull the file from the court system in Jacksonville, it would end up describing that Julio Foolio was born June 21st, 1998. He was involved in an ambushing by rival street members Sunday morning in Tampa, very similar to what happened to Young and Ace's family when his brother sadly passed. This was supposed to be a celebration weekend for the rapper's birthday, ended up turning into the worst thing imaginable due to his social media actions. Julio Foolio and his crew rented an Airbnb for the weekend, as once he arrived to the B&B, Foolio would begin posting on his Instagram story,
"Hey, the pool party start today at 5, 6 o'clock. If you already got the address, pull up, man. You got the address, pull up. If you need the address, DM me right now. The pool party start at 5, 6 o'clock. DM me for the address or DM Foolio booking ESPN. I'm gonna put it right here. We just got here, bruh. You got to add it. You got to add it, man. Push up. We just got to this bit. Tampa, Florida, man. You already got to add it to the pool party. Push up at 5:30, man. Push up at 5:30, man. We finna get everything right. Push up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, man. It's up.
As the party inside of the B&B only lasted 2 hours, Foolio would even share the inside of the party, showing everyone that's involved, while also showing his ops that he has been having drinks throughout the night. While everyone's giggling in the Instagram story, on the other side of the phone was his ops, and they were planning, as this was the first mistake of many for Foolio, showing millions of followers, including his ops, his every move. An hour later, the police would arrive at the Airbnb, calling the landlord of the home, who would then kick Foolio and his crew out of the Florida crib. But Foolio would once again go to Instagram, posting his next move. This would be a poster for a nearby club, telling everyone to pull up on his Instagram story, while also revealing the literal address of the club on the poster. Almost like he's trying to break the record on social media for the most location drops to his ops in one weekend. Once he arrived to the club, he would even go further, sharing exactly where he's sitting inside of the club by recording himself walking up the stairs and telling everyone where he's going.
We can't even my birthday, man. Everybody coming up the stairs. No cap, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We deep as 20 deep. Lit everywhere we go.
While his ops were watching his every single move, knowing exactly where he is gave him enough time to get together, figure out a plan, and scope out the scene. It'd never been this easy likely for them in their life. Now, taking action on this day of the 23rd was very important to them, and this is why Young and Ace is involved. When Foolio and his crew were done in the club, they ended up gathering in the parking lot while his manager figured out a place to stay. His manager scoped out a nearby Holiday Inn down the street, and they all began driving down. When arriving to the Holiday Inn, everything was silent. This was, however, until two rival cars filled to the brim with street members all targeted Foolio's crew with firearms. Meanwhile, two would hop out on foot with the main job of locating Julio Foolio and doing, obviously, you can guess what after. This was a clear retaliation against Foolio, especially with it being the 23rd of the month. The police would have in their record file that Foolio dropped a hit track titled When I See You. He made fun of Young and Ace's crew, as well as Young and Ace for losing his brother, as he would rap the lyrics, went out to eat on his birthday, 4 hit 3 passed in the worst way, he kept dissing on me, and now we hit in 23. Now in the present day, the ops that Foolio was dissing ended up getting revenge, hitting a total of 4 people on the 23rd day on Foolio's birthday, just like Foolio dissed them. Young and Ace would even rap in his newest song, 4 in the car, 1 of them gone, 3 got hit, recreating Foolio's lyrics that Foolio used against him. Further proving that Young and Ace's crew was likely involved was 6 hours later, when it would be reported Young and Ace dropped Do It, a direct diss track titled at Julio Foolio after his passing earlier today, when Young and Ace's right-hand man shared to his Instagram an old tweet from King Von which reads, "Game over, we won, stupid." However, the story gets crazier from here, because the police ended up finding something after months of investigation that ends up completing the entire mystery. 1 month ago, Foolio did an interview speaking on the beef in Jacksonville, where he would reveal that there was was supposed to be a song made from both groups to stop all of the crime against each other.
On the record, y'all probably ain't know this. Even though I said what I said, bro, me and J. Breeze supposed to be doing a Stop the Violence song. We probably gonna get that shit in motion. So I'm gonna just get that shit out of the way for the kids, for the youth and shit. And yeah, we gotta make this shit look better, man.
You and J. Breezy have a Stop the Violence record coming.
Yeah, that shit, it's talked about. I DM'd him about it. My big cousin wrote him about it too. He said he with it, I'm with it. But basically right now we trying to find a beat.
This ended up making many upset because the entire situation could have been avoided. However, the police had a different theory. The police believed the other side was only pretending to get close to Julio Fulio, telling Fulio the beef has got to stop, let's make a song and do business, just so then Fulio would let his guard down, which is exactly what he did, dropping his location every half hour of where he is on his birthday. This would end up even getting the attention of rappers and celebrities in the industry. Charleston White would share,
and everybody saying, well, man, what you think about this? Well, all I'm gonna say is, man, that works hard to die. Did he earn this here? And goddamn it, should nobody be sad? Where that lived and talk gangster? Should nobody be sad what did happen to Julio Fulio? One thing we know about it, he didn't go to heaven.
That's ain't good. What's that?
Yeah, now one thing about it, he ain't in heaven. Now, where that boy, he had all the time in the world to apologize to them people. He was going to the graveyard, rapping at the graveyard. Man, that was making people mama cry. It's some people relieved, wiping their forehead saying, "Ooh, Lord, thank you." And then there's some people crying, said, "Oh, we gonna miss one leg, one foot."
As Charleston White ended up helping out the police in this situation, as it turns out, it was only targeted for one specific reason, which was the passing of Young and Ace's best friend, ATK Mitch. On April 2022, officers saw Fulio driving a Dodge Durango with an illegal window tint. They ended up pulling Fulio over to ask questions when suddenly a prosecutor showed up. Things got very odd. The prosecutor searched Fulio's vehicle illegally, and he even told the officers who he was. After hearing who Fulio was, he was quickly arrested and taken into the police patrol car, and he was questioned about the passing of ATK Mitch.
All right, so I ain't want to bring it up. I know you're gonna be upset. Mitch, there's some texts I want to talk to you real quick about what happened to Mitch.
How long that's gonna take?
Not that long. Depends on you. They just gonna ask you what you know about what happened.
Once taken into the police car, Fulio knew that he would be questioned, and he was quickly taken in to be interrogated.
I used to come to my mama's house. I used to stay on the corner. He would come over there, show his, you know what I'm saying, support.
What type of work do you do? What type
I'm an artist.
You're an artist? Okay. As far as Mitch go, what are you hearing?
Nah, really, I was in Miami when I heard the news, you know what I'm saying? I was down making music, and I saw posting on Instagram, Mitch, the whole Jacksonville, Mitch.
The detective started looking at who Fulio was to Mitch and how they even knew each other, while also asking Fulio at the time, where was he when ATK Mitch sadly passed?
All right, the reason why I'm here, I am lead on your friend's case.
Ooh.
You didn't have a friend that recently got killed?
A lot of friends that,
recently? Mitch?
Oh, yeah.
So I'm lead on that. I don't know how close you guys were. Can you kind of give me just run down on y'all relationship when y'all met? How long y'all been partners or whatever?
The detectives, though, had nothing on Fulio right here, but they knew that he was involved with ATK Mitch's passing, so they tried fishing for any information that they could get. But Fulio continued to tell the detectives he didn't know anything.
Guys, if you may know or hear something, that'd be helpful as well. Because if you know his mom, you can sit up there and call his mom, then I'm pretty sure you would want her to have some answers as well.
My little brother, I don't know who did. I don't know. I ain't here. That's what I'm saying. You will never know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. No, I just heard it. They say, little brother, I'm like, you know what I'm saying? I'm in Miami at the time, though.
You ain't tired of that, man?
Yeah. But I'm known to this.
While Fulio was shutting down any involvement with ATK Mitch's passing, they would ask Fulio why is his music related about so much crime in the area. The detectives started getting frustrated that Fulio was staying quiet.
Do you think that your music or your ways or the way you conduct yourself through your music had anything to do with him?
Nah, because even before I was rapping, it was, you get what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say it's my music, that's why somebody, you get what I'm saying?
Okay, do you think it influenced someone or triggered someone, like the way y'all going back and forth with it? Do you feel that way?
No. A son can't make no do nothing, bro.
Leaving many angry with Fulio for lying to the police. ATK Mitch had an entire family that was wondering what happened to their son. Meanwhile, Fulio was seen lying to the police, which makes everyone look at Fulio's passing to be a retaliation for ATK Mitch. While it seems like the feds target rappers, there is one rapper who was rotting in jail for over 2 years and then just recently got released, being Young Thug.
I'm alive. I just jumped on here to let you ladies know that yes, a goat can go live. Whoa! What's up? Who up right now? What's up? Who up right now?
Stink, I miss you.
I miss you too. What you doing?
Nothing, bored. You don't like him?
No, in my motherfucking room.
Cause you was being mean. He felt your energy.
Man, I don't even play. I fly all the way to LA. Is that?
You ain't gonna touch him. You ain't gonna with an inch of him. Hold on, let me show you Tootie.
I used to forget, like, damn, I really got little people.
Yeah, so you gotta just
So
like,
lately, I just been with my kids a lot. So now it's just like, I'm looking at my daughters, they listening to I'm a Savage. I'm like, oh, they got it. Yeah. Hell no, Meg got it.
they come out the room talking about
With Young Thug released from jail, the YSL rapper spoke about his life and how it's been on the outside. And he also wants to get an answer from Gunna for taking his early plea deal in the YSL trial. As Young Thug tweeted, "Wham, let's drop one on these rats, Peter," with the name Wham referring to rapper Lil Baby, as Lil Baby's been firm on dissing Gunna for snitching out of the YSL trial early. Lil Baby responded to Young Thug on his Instagram saying, "We should," but this would end up getting the attention of DJ Academics, as this could already affect Young Thug's probation only a few days out. It would be reported Academic speaks on Young Thug getting released and says the stipulations that he's got are a setup for the court to try to put Young Thug back into jail, explaining that it's practically all a setup for Thug to eventually fail and then go to prison for 20 years.
I know some of his fans think he beat the case. He definitely didn't beat the case. Beat the case means you got no stipulations. The Young Thug thing is a win, but it's also a huge setup. If you gonna tell me that they're gonna monitor him on a probationary basis for 15 years, can't be in Atlanta, can't communicate with co-defendants or gang members, he can't rap about, he can't promote any music that has to do with what they believe is gang activity. Well, he's always gonna talk about him and his is doing his thing. They might consider that gang activity. He might be like, yo, me is like, yo, we going to the park getting lit. We going to the club getting lit. They might be like, oh no, you talking about the gang. So, we celebrating right now because I think we could all see, if you follow that trial at all, whether you're a fan of Thug or not, you can see the pain, you can see this was going through it. Like, he gained a lot of weight. Everybody knows Thug was not that weight, so we happy he got out, but we definitely got to be very cognizant of how it's going to play out.
As Academics would end up then revealing how Young Thug is going to get set up by the feds to be placed back into prison for 20 years. This would then get the attention of the famous rap lawyer who explains this is actually a great deal for Young Thug and it's probably the best that he ever could have gotten.
Young Thug absolutely won that plea deal for so many reasons. One, the prosecution got none of what they wanted when you think about what the charges were and what actually got pled to. And two, he saved himself some major civil liability. Let me break that down. So first off, the prosecution had charged this man with 8 counts. 2 of them were very serious. 2 of them were basically saying that for years you were the leader of a criminal gang that committed murders and all types of acts all over the city of Atlanta. Those 2 charges Young Thug did not plead guilty to. Had he pled guilty to those, he would have gotten serious time, and all the victims of all of this alleged criminal street gang activity, including the families of could have sued him civilly in court and said, hey, this man pled guilty to doing it. Now he's got to pay me. He pled nolo contendere. The judge accepted that plea. The prosecution said, Judge, you should not allow a nolo contendere plea on those 2 counts. The judge said, I am going to allow it.
But Young Thug would later describe the real reason that he was even released from jail, which was his emotional speech inside of the courtroom that allegedly made the judge cry, as Young Thug would be seen describing to the judge and the jury the type of man that he truly is, and that he accepts his wrongdoings and he really is sorry for everything he's done.
Anything that you want to say?
Yes, ma'am. I take full responsibility for, my crimes or my charges. I want to say sorry to my family, my mom. My mom got 11 kids. I can't say all their names, my managers, my kids that's not here. Really everybody that got something to do with this situation, I want to say sorry for just having so much time invested into this, and I am a smart guy, I am a good guy, and I really got a good heart, I find myself in a lot of stuff because I was just nice or cool, and I understand that you can't be that way when you reach a certain height because it could end bad.
As Young Thug would even continue further on with his speech, making everyone else cry inside of the courtroom, accepting his wrongs and promising to be a better person.
I hope that you allow me to go home today and just trust in me to just do the right thing and never see you again unless it's at a bar in the future or something. Just out of this type of situation, I promise you I won't ever be in this type of situation again. I'm going away. I've learned from my mistakes. I come from nothing and I've made something and I didn't take full advantage of it. I'm sorry. Through these last 2.5 years of my life, you are really, truly, honestly, the best thing that has happened to me because you made everything fair for me and everybody involved on both sides, I'm sorry to the sheriff, everybody for just having to put extra time in. I know y'all got paid more money, but I'm sorry for y'all having to put this extra time in to be away from y'all family, and I just hope that.
He would then end off his speech, which is what made him get released from jail, by speaking on what he has done for the community, by performing free concerts every few months, making millions of dollars, and donating every single dime to underdeveloped communities, schools, and families that are in need of financial support.
You find it in your heart to allow me to go home and be with my family and just do better as a person. I know what I bring to the table. I know what I am. I know the heights I've reached. I know the impact I got on people, period, in the community, all people. I learned that late. These past 2 or 3 years of my life, I kind of learned that late, and maybe it was because I was, probably on or anything, I don't know, but I have came to my senses and I understand what I mean to this world, but I am a good guy, I don't mind doing stuff like, free shows, and I always did that, I did free shows and gave it to single parents, millions of dollars, I made $1.8 million on a free show, and I gave it all to single parent charity, and I did.
However, the moments leading up to Young Thug's release from jail made a few rappers believe that he took a plea deal that seems a little fishy, as it started out with the moments of Young Thug walking to the stand to accept the deal.
Mr. Steele, Mr. Adams, Mr. Williams, where are we? Ready to go forward? All right. Y'all coming up here to the podium. All right, Sergeant, can you swear in Mr. Williams?
Raise your right hand. You swear firm testimony you give to the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. What's your name, first and last? You might tell first and last. Jeffrey Williams. I got you.
Jeffrey Williams, Jeffery Williams.
As with Young Thug accepting his fate and allowing to have a plea deal determine his future, it was then announced the state is recommending that Young Thug is sentenced to 45 years with 25 years to serve.
And Mr. Williams, were you aware of the state's previous offer that was turned down prior to your making this non-negotiated plea?
Yes.
All right. And Your Honor, at this time, the state is making a recommendation of 45 years with 25 to serve in custody, followed by 20 on probation, subject to the special requirements of 1615 the gang statute.
The state's first offer was so ridiculous and Brian Steele was not having it. Sure, he would have come home today, but he would have had to snitch against the remaining YSL members in a case. As a report reads, he could have come home today if he accepted that previous offer, but he did not agree to the special conditions.
Would have been released today for 15 years on probation if he successfully completes that probation. Then he would not have to go to custody. If he did not, he'd face probation revocation as well as 23 years, as a court said, backloaded in the Georgia prison system. But we could not come to terms on all the conditions that the district attorney was insisting upon.
Okay.
As this would then lead into Young Thug and his lawyers wanting to roll the dice on Thug's future and not accepting the initial plea deal that was offered. As we would then see Brian Steele announce to the courtroom what Young Thug is willing to accept. As it is reported, Young Thug pleads no contest to the RICO count and the gang leader count. The rest, he pleads guilty.
One, which is the racketeering conspiracy count. Mr. Williams is tendering a plea under nolo contendere as to count 56, which is participation in a criminal street gang activity as being a leader or a supervisor or organizer. Mr. Williams is also tendering a plea to this honorable court as under nolo contendere, the balance of the count, so he is tendering a guilty plea.
Your Honor.
Yes, ma'am.
Would the court like to hear from the state or not?
About the NOLO issues?
Yes.
Sure.
Your Honor, the state asked that the court not accept a NOLO plea and require either a guilty plea or a not guilty plea as to these charges.
All right. I'm going to permit a NOLO plea as to counts 1 and 56.
All right.
As it was Young Thug himself that announced that he has to take a plea deal today. The trial wasn't even supposed to end, but sadly it was announced. Young Thug's lawyer says Thug insisted on this because he couldn't handle 3 more months of knowing his kids are upset. If there is any chance that he could come home today, he'll do it. His lawyer then told him they are winning the trial, but he was okay with either decision.
For almost 2 years since we did our jury selection initiation on January 4th, 2023. Mr. Williams been sitting in a jail since May 9th, 2022. This is 2.5 years waiting for the conclusion of the state's case and a verdict from the jury, and that's why he is tendering this plea. I'm telling the court this, and the court knows when you came out the first time, it's very hard for Mr. Williams. I am not supportive of what we're doing right now. I'm not against it. But I told Mr. Williams, you okay with me saying that? Yes. I told Mr. Williams that I think we're winning the trial and we should go to verdict. But he told me I can't wait another 3 months if there is any possibility I could go home because I have children that are hurting.
The judge knew that Young Thug was extremely emotional here. This is when the judge would finally have her verdict on Young Thug's future. As Thug was seen visibly being upset, the mention of his children ended up getting him pretty emotional, as the only thing he wants to do is see them, proving that Young Thug does have a heart. This is when the judge would sentence Young Thug.
So essentially, the total sentence is 40 years to serve the first 5 years in prison, but commuted to the time that you have already served, followed by 15 years on probation, followed then by the backloaded 20 years, which can be served in custody and will be served in custody if you are not successful on your probation. If you are successful in completing your 15 years probation, that will be commuted to time served.
With it then being announced that Young Thug was released from jail, everyone in the courtroom was so happy. But it was the post-game interview from Young Thug's lawyer that truly made everyone understand what Thug went through and everything he had to do while in jail.
As far as how Jeffrey's feeling now,
He knows my feelings, which I'm not going to reveal for attorney-client privilege, but this is not the same as a not guilty verdict. That should have been ran. But nobody here wakes up every day on a concrete floor that they're calling his bed, gets up at 4:15, gets shackled at his feet, his waist, and his hands, comes to the Fulton County Courthouse to be on concrete, eating out of a bag. Doritos is his meal of choice. And then coming to a courtroom and sit there with a leg chain on him every single day and hear lie after lie. So for Jeffrey, go home today and not have another 90 days or 120 days of it, he is very happy.
As it relates perfectly to what 4-2 Doug said during an interview, where in the YSL trial, they were doing things and manipulating the case to make sure Thug stayed in jail, to keep him under these very bad conditions.
Have you been tapped into the YSL case at all, and how do you think that's been?
I've been trying to watch a little bit.
Do you think it's being mishandled?
I think it should have been dismissed. The shit with the judge that just happened was
that just happened.
Crazy, like trying to send his lawyer to jail. From the outside looking in, it's looking like they got something against him.
With more rappers sitting inside of jail being K Flock, Boo Shiesty, Tory Lanez, Fetty Wap, Blueface, TSU Surf, Max B, Lil G, YFN Lucci, Bankroll Freddy, and 6ix9ine.